All right, everyone, here is your final week 10 and finals week instructional video. The last time you will have to watch me on video. I'm sure you'll be glad for that. And I don't believe me, it's the last time I want to see you on video too, at least see myself on video. So this week we're wrapping up. You're going to actually do something fun. I hope you find this fun. You're going to complete a science demonstration that is aligned with the problem-based lesson you're planning. So last week I mentioned do some reading, look at some science demonstrations that were linked in week 9, and also read the document about using phenomena and with NGSS. And so come up with some sort of demonstration that would work for your lesson. It needs to be just a few minutes long, and you are going to videotape yourself giving the demonstration. So to do that, when you click on Start Assignment, you're going to go to Media. And in the media, you can record or upload media and just start recording. So make sure that you're set up, ready to go, and ready to record using either your phone or your laptop with a web camera, and record you actually doing the demonstration and then upload it. So just remember that when you upload a video on Canvas, it's going to take a while. If you are on Wi-Fi or mobile data, it's usually really slow and it can time out, which can make for a very frustrating assignment. So if you can connect to really good Wi-Fi when you are uploading this, that will make all the difference in the world in terms of your frustration doing this assignment. So that's the, again, your phenomena should be something related to the topic that you are addressing in your lesson. It should engage students in asking questions about what is happening here, like why would this be happening, or get them to think about, oh, I want to help solve this problem, or this is important to me in some way. So that's the first assignment. That's the assignment that's due for week 10, and I am going to pull up the camera is always in my way here. I'm going to pull up the to-do list so you'll see your science demonstration. So again, make sure to review the resources, choose a phenomenon to engage students with that's related to your problem, no more than a 5-minute video, upload on Canvas. The last thing I want you to do is I want you to actually take a look at the lesson plan that you're going to be using for your final lesson. So the last thing I want to point out is this assignment is due June 10th. That's a little less time than you normally have because we're bumping into finals week, and I want you to have some time to finish your final assignment, which is also why I'm putting this information up early so you have plenty of time to work on this. So this is the lesson plan template that I want you to take a look at. You're going to be using this to do your lesson plan for the STEM lesson. So review it this week, and I am going to talk a little more about it in terms of the assignment that is due for finals week. So you have 2 assignments due for finals week. As I mentioned, the first one is this lesson plan. So some things that you need to include in your lesson plan, you need to have all 4 STEM areas addressed. So engineering, math, and science standards. And then you need to include description of how you're using technology. All of those should come from the activity plan you did week 9. So make sure that you're engaging your students in inquiry. You're going to include the phenomenon that you wrote about, that you did a video on, and you're going to incorporate some assessments to make sure that the students are meeting your learning goals and the standards. So the lesson plan I'm going to go over real quick. So again, you're starting with this. Most of this should come from your activity plan. This was to help you get going so that you had a framework. So you should have all of the standards, including an NGSS standard, a math standard. Those might come from the activity if they've already been written into the lesson plan you're using, but you might have to find those on your own. I have included an example engineering standard, and I want to show you real quick how to get to those on the internet so you can find the engineering standards. So NGSS standards, I'm just going to go that. It's also linked. So go to the standards. You want to go to where you want to read the standards. Oh, that's the appendices, sorry. So right here, there are ways to search the standards. And so I'm going to scroll all the way down, and you will see that these last 3 standards are actually the engineering. So you can pick either of these 3, and you can then submit, and it will give you all of the engineering standards for each grade level. So this is kindergarten through 2nd. This is 4th grade. This is 3rd through 5th. So you will see that there are some standards in here that don't have the ETSI. So this one, for instance, is actually a science standard. But if you notice, it also has an asterisk at the end of the standard. That means that it includes engineering. And so if we read the standard, apply scientific principles to design, construct, and test a device that either minimizes or maximizes thermal energy transfer. So this is already an engineering, has engineering incorporated in the science. So if you use one of these that has an asterisk, that is a NGSS science standard with an asterisk, that incorporates engineering, and so you only have to have one. But if you don't, if you use a standard a science standard that does not have an asterisk, then you actually have to pick an engineering standard as well. So for instance, this is the middle school one, and it says define the criteria and constraints of a design problem with sufficient precision to ensure a successful solution, taking into account relative scientific principles and potential impacts on people and the natural environment that may limit possible solutions. So you're probably going to be looking at these that are closer to K2 or 3-5. That's why I've included this one. And this one will probably work for most of you, and why I have placed it as an example here. Okay. So you should have a math, a science, and an engineering standard listed here. So your learning targets should also, you should have at least 3, and each of those should address one of the standards. So a math learning target, a science learning target, and an engineering learning target. The rest of this is pretty self-explanatory. I will say you need to talk about, and this is where that phenomenon video comes in. Here you're going to explain how you engage your students in inquiry using phenomenon, and so you're going to reference your video there. So here is a blank version of that, and so you're going to fill this out, and it needs to include all of these things, and that is what you're going to submit as your lesson plan draft for week 10. So that's the first assignment. The second assignment is a reflection. So your final assignment, and the one that's actually worth a lot of points, so this is really the final for this class, is this phenomenon-based integrated teaching reflection. So in this assignment, you're going to write a reflection, no more than 3 pages, that addresses these 3 prompts. How does your lesson highlight a relevant local community-based problem? How does your use of partnerships with the community incorporate diverse perspectives and histories? And how does using a place-based, problem-based STEM approach make learning science, math, engineering, and technology more relevant to students than when we teach these topics separately? So you're going to write about this. Again, there's a rubric that gives you the criteria in which I will be grading this. Just pay attention. This assignment is worth 50 points. So this is something you want to spend some time on. You want to be thorough. You want to use evidence from your actual lesson plan. You want to use evidence from the course materials. So when you're talking about how you did or how you would incorporate diverse perspectives and histories, think back to the equity plan that you created. Think back to the SB13 curriculum you looked at. How do we share diverse histories and perspectives when we teach science? And how do we add those into our lessons? So if you did not put those in your lesson plan, you can talk about how you would add those in the future. Okay, so that's your final assignment and the last 3 assignments for the course. So good luck. Let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing your reflections.